Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm filming a how I lost just short of 4 stone following the Slim World plan.
Shannon here. I just wanted to pop on and say that everything I say is my experience. I do not work for Slim World and nor am I paid to talk about this. This is all from my own personal experience and I hope this doesn't trigger anyone. If it does, please turn off immediately. Enjoy!
If you don't know much about Slim World is a diet plan, but I see it as a lifestyle change, and I've preached that to everyone, where you follow a plan where you have a certain amount of allowances a day. So you have free foods, which you can eat as much as you want of, speed foods, which you can eat as much as you want of, they fall into the free foods. You have your healthy extra A, which is your dairy, and your healthy extra B, which is your cereals, your bread, your nuts allowance, and then you have your sins. Depending on your body weight, you're allowed, I think majority of people on Slim World are allowed 15 sins a day. If you are a lot bigger, I think you're allowed 20 sins. I'm not 100%, but I just remember when I was in group years ago, there was a guy in there that was allowed 20 sins. And that's just to allow your body to get used to the massive change it's about to adapt to. So let's go into it a bit more. So your free foods are your meats, your fruits, your vegetables, your fish, your pastas, your rices, your noodles, your potatoes, potatoes, and they all fall into the free foods. So you are allowed as much as you want, and because I'm saying as much, that means you're allowed to have a decent amount of food, but not piling your plate like this, because I know there's people out there that do that and do not lose weight. So they allow you to have as much as you want of these foods, but everything is in moderation, isn't it? If you're going to pile your plate up with pasta every day, you're going to struggle to lose weight. Just simple as that. So sticking to the normal guidelines of having 75 grams of pasta is pretty normal, and that's what they recommend you should have. So within your free foods, you then have your speed food. So your speed food tends to be your fruit and veg. So I think strawberries are speed food. I think blueberries now fall into speed food. They didn't a couple of years back. Vegetables such as broccoli, spinach. Spinach is a great speed food, by the way. That's a secret weapon in Slim World, is just spinach, because spinach just wilts down to nothing, and a pasta dish, for instance, add your spinach in and it goes down to nothing. You can hardly taste it in a pasta dish and you've got a lot of speed food in there. So when you're following Slim World, as I've said, you get all these different categories, and you're recommended to have as much speed on your plate as you possibly can. So your speed foods, as I said a minute ago, tend to be your fruit and veg. Well, they are your fruit and veg, but certain fruit and vegetables. So potatoes are not speed foods. Bananas are not speed foods. Apples are speed foods. Peppers are speed foods. And there's certain vegetable fruit, like sweet corn isn't, as in tin sweet corn isn't. Yeah, so when you're eating, you want to have as much speed food as you possibly can on your plate. So a lot of people would have, as I said a second ago, add loads of spinach into their pasta, add peppers in, add sweet corn in, and they would have their allowance of pasta, the meat of their choice, so like chicken, beef, pork, steaks, anything like that is free food, as long as you take off any visible fat. So if you were having chicken thighs, you would take off the fat on the chicken thighs. If you were having bacon, you take off the fat on the bacon, and cook it. Now when you're cooking those foods, you would use spray light and not oil, or any sort of oil tends to be a no, they're sinned. You want to use fry light. Now I know for me personally that fry light is a bit of a because it ruins your pans. I know that for a fact. So I try and use as minimal oil as I possibly can when I'm cooking. And if I do use oil, I use rapeseed oil, which I sin. So moving on to your healthy extra A and your healthy extra B. So when you first start Slimming World, you're allowed 2 healthy extra A's a day, which is your milk, your cheese. Sorry, there's a snake in front of me. Is your milk and your cheese, really, and milk and cheese. So you can have, I think it's 250 mils of semi-skimmed milk a day. This might be wrong, I might have to adapt it. And you can have, say, it depends on what cheese you have. You can have a certain amount of allowance of cheese. It's not, I think it's like 45 grams of halloumi or 35 or 40 grams of cheddar. But you're allowed a certain amount of those a day. So you're allowed 2 of those. So you normally probably have your milk for, some people might double up on their milk and have enough for their cup of teas and coffees in the day, and then some for their cereal. Others might have a bit, milk weighed out and then some cheese for their lunch or their dinner. And then your healthy extra B is your cereal, your bread and your nuts. The issue with the healthy extra Bs is that you might say want a bowl of, porridge in the morning, which would be classed as your healthy extra B and part of your healthy extra A. And then you might see, I fancy some bread for a sandwich at lunch, and you would have to sin your bread for your sandwich. And that's the issue with your healthy extra B, you only get 1. So you can't go and eat loads and loads of bread because it's just not in the plan. So what I find myself doing, and what I had found myself doing, is always ensuring that I had a healthy extra B allowance for lunch, because I prefer to have poached eggs on toast, beans on toast, Slimming World pizza wraps for lunch instead of breakfast. So for breakfast instead, you could use some of your sins and have sausages with eggs and beans, or you can have an omelette, or you can have, bacon and mushroom muffins. There's endless amount of things you could do for breakfast if you have the time to make it. Now, if you're in the office, or if you're running, if you're always busy, then you probably would use your healthy extra B for your breakfast, because it's your cereal, your toast, whatever. And you'd probably take a salad or a pasta dish for lunch with you. But if you're at home, try and save your bread allowance, well, I do anyway, for lunch, or even dinner, if you're having, say, garlic bread. So that's your healthy extra A and healthy extra B, and then you have your sins. So I was allowed 15 sins a day. I rarely hit 15 sins, because 15 sins seems a lot when you use a lot of free food. So your free foods, as well as it being meats and things, it's also stuff like tinned tomatoes, tomato puree, baked beans are free, your kidney beans, your chickpeas, all of those are all free foods. So you can really build up a dinner completely free. So say chili con carne or spaghetti bolognese would be completely sin free if you did it the Slimming World way. So take a spaghetti bolognese, for instance. So you would put in 5% beef mince, tinned tomatoes, tomato puree, a beef stock, onion, mushrooms, probably some more tomatoes, and then I tend to always put in a grated carrot, and then some herbs, and that's completely sin-free. Your pasta's sin-free. What you would sin then is the parmesan or any cheese you add on top of it, and that would be classed as your healthy extra A. If you haven't already used it, you would sin it. So that's a completely sin-free meal. So then you've got your sins for a chocolate bar in the evening if you fancy one, an ice cream in the evening if it's summer, or whenever you fancy one. Your coffees, if you fancy, if you're in the office and you want a coffee from the machine, you can sin that. You can afford to have, say, a glass of gin and tonic, because that's 4 sins for the gin. So you can use your sins to your advantage if you really bulk up on your free foods for your dinners. I would like to do another video in the future where I just talk about Slimming World meals and my favourite Slimming World meals, which are completely either sin-free or very low in sin. So if you'd like that, just either message down below or drop a thumbs up. Thumbs up. Yeah, so that's that. So moving more into my experience. I've lost just short of 4 stone following Slimming World. And that has been over 2 years. But during the start of my Slimming World journey, I didn't actually follow Slimming World, as in I wasn't a member. I did it personally because I knew the plan. So from January 2019 through to March 2020, I did it off my own back and I was slowly losing weight. I lost 2 stone during those times. So that was 18 months. Is that 15 months? 15 months, I lost 2 stone. Very, very minimal exercise. Probably just walks and maybe a few, a little bit of HIIT workouts every now and again, or weight training at the gym. So over that time I lost 2 stone, and then in March we went into lockdown and I decided that the scales weren't moving for me. They were the same every time and I wasn't really changing the way I was eating. I was eating the same sort of meals every day. So I would have like loads and loads of fruit for breakfast because that's what I enjoy having for breakfast. I don't like a heavy breakfast. So lots of fruit, bananas, apples, strawberries, lots of fruit for breakfast, but I would normally eat that at about 11:30 because I'm not a morning eater at all. And then for lunch I would have, say, poached eggs on toast, or Slimming World pizzas for lunch. So that would be my healthy extra B allowance there. And some of my healthy extra eggs, so the cheese. And then for dinner I would have, I don't know, just something that was on my plan to an extent. So like chicken casserole or fajitas. If I was having fajitas, I would have rice instead of a wrap. That's a big thing. Always still do that now. So yeah, I wasn't really losing weight. I was staying the same. The scales, I was getting really frustrated with the scales. So in March I decided it was about time I looked at joining Slimming World, but online, which I did. And I set myself a target to weigh 9 stone 10. 9 stone 10 was my target weight. I hit that in May 2020 and I became a target member. I found the difference with joining the online zone. So I lost 2 stone in, how long was that? 2 months, which is just rapid compared to I lost 2 stone in 15 months, 2 stone in 2 months. And I found that what I was doing differently is I was measuring my milk, I was measuring my cheese, I was being more strict. Like if we were having a takeaway, I would make my own. So I would have, again, the Slimming World pizzas. It's a massive, so easy dish that if people are having, say, Domino's or Chinese or anything, I would just make myself the Slimming World wrap and just fill it with meats and veg and just basically make it like a mountain. So it looked like I was having a really naughty dinner, and I wasn't at all. It was all sin-free. Normally, unless I use barbecue as a base, and it's sinned. So over those 2 months, I lost another 2 stone, which made me 9 stone 10. So that's 4 stone lost following Slimming World. The reason I'm saying just short of 4 stone, I'm going to get onto that now. So from May until September, I got really, really into my fitness. So I was always doing HIIT workouts. I was always cycling for quite some time. We used to cycle to Jack's grandma's there and back probably 3-4 times a week, which is around, I think it's 12 miles there and back. I was trying to get into running, so I was doing Couch to 5K. I was walking so much because the weather was so beautiful and we were in lockdown, we had nothing else to do. I was working out on my lunch break, so I would normally do a HIIT workout, an abs workout on my lunch break, and then I would go for a walk or a bike ride in the evening. So I was doing a lot of exercise where when I was weighing myself, I gained weight because of the muscle mass. So I had gained around 3 or 4 pounds. So I'm still classed as a target member because you have a level where you can be. So after I hit target, which I have the certificate for, looks like this, you receive a Slim for Life book, and I was following this, blah, blah, writing in my diary plan, and you're allowed more allowances. So you're allowed savvy sins, you're allowed more healthy extras, all sorts. I will go into that more in detail in a different video if you'd like to see it. But I then decided, right, I do not need to follow Slim World anymore on the plan online. So I ran it until the end. I didn't renew my subscription. So come July, I was eating less and less and less because I was exercising so much that I was not eating really at all. And for breakfast, I was just having a banana. For lunch, I was just having a bit of couscous. And for dinner, I was just having... I say that, I was having more for my dinner than I would... I was probably having the same amount for my dinner as I was before, but my breakfast was just hardly anything, if anything. And I lost 10 pounds within a month of July. Now, at the time, I was like, wow, this is amazing. The scales are looking great. I was in size 6 in some of my clothes. My face was really slim. I'm going to try and put a photo. I don't know if I'm that technical yet. If I am, here's a photo of me back in the summer. And I just remember my mum saying to me, your face is too slim. And then she said to me that one of my family friends, or my friend's mum, had said to her, I don't look like me anymore. And I remember thinking, I like the way I look. I remember looking in myself in the mirror and thinking, you look so good. You're so slim. You know, if we were on holiday, you'd be wanting to wear your bikini. You'd want to get photos in it. I just remember that feeling, and I used to think I looked so good, but I wasn't healthy. And I know that now, because now I look at myself in the mirror and I'm currently 9 stone 6. So I'm still way below target. But I look at myself in the mirror now and my face is fuller. I've got my curves back, which I lost back in the summer. But I have found that I am still following Slim World. I've got better at my eating, so my breakfasts are a little bit bigger now. They're not much bigger because I'm not a breakfast person. But I am following Slim World more, so I'm trying to stick to my healthy extras still. I will never, if I eat bread and cereal on the same day, that would be a miracle. I just don't do that ever, ever, ever. It's always one or the other. I probably do snack more than I would have. I probably eat a bit of chocolate if it's on the side, and I probably shouldn't. But everything in moderation, and it is a lifestyle change. Like, it's drilled into me completely, which is you can only eat this sort of amount of food every day. You want to build your plate up with as much speed as you can. You want to eat as much protein as you can. And that's a really good thing to be in. But I know that some people feel that I maybe don't eat as much as I should. But, I'm not hungry, so I'm not going to eat it. I've just gone on a complete tangent there. But yeah, so back in May, did I say May or June? I cancelled Slim World and I lost a further 10 pounds. So this is why I'm saying I lost just short of 4 stone within Slimming World, because I wasn't following Slimming World when I lost a large amount of weight in July. I was just being unhealthy in some ways. I just wasn't eating. And I gained some weight quite quickly after that. And I gained a little bit, 6 pounds quite quickly. When I really thought to myself, Shannon, this is not healthy, you need to start eating. All in all, Slimming World is a really, really good plan. If you are looking to lose weight and not be stuck in a rut where it's like, I have to eat salad for lunch every day, look at Slimming World, because it's changed my life, and it's changed so many people's life that I know of. And I know that there's so much stigma around this, and at the end of the day, yes, you're paying to stand on some scales, and that's what people don't like. If you don't want to follow Slimming World and you just want to just kind of follow what people are eating, that's fine. You don't have to pay to go stand on some scales. It's just more for a discipline, you know, so you get the book, so you know the sins of things, so you're not eating something that's 10 sins that you think's 2. But at the end of the day, the way you lose weight, and the way that any fitness instructor would tell you to lose weight, is by being in a calorie deficit. That is the main thing, and that's what you have to be in order to lose weight. And I certainly was, and I certainly am now, and I think I always will be, because, yeah, I don't know, just always will be. And I will always stick to the Slimming World plan in some ways. But yeah, that's enough from me, I think, on this topic. I think I'm going to leave it there, because I think I've addressed everything I need to address at this stage. I would like to make more content about Slimming World. I'd like to make meal videos, more Target. I'd love to tell you more about being a Target member. There's all sorts of stuff that's really important. And maybe the best sinned foods that I've got, you know, low sinned foods, I'd like to do that. Or the best meals, have I already said that? Low sinned or no sins meals, lunches, breakfasts, if you want breakfasts, even though I don't eat them, but I know of some. Yeah, so if you'd like to see some of those, put it down below. And yeah, we'll just carry on how we are and hopefully stay the weight I am. But yeah, that's it from me, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please remember to like, comment and subscribe, and add the bell so you can be notified on when I upload next. I don't know what my next video will be. If you want more Slimming World content, like I've said, please drop the message down below, and hopefully I can make more for you guys. But yeah, for now, I hope you're all well, stay safe, and I'll see you soon. Bye guys.